So there's this game called Manual Samuel. The entire premise of the game is that you have to micromanage this guy, Samuel, by making him, do things. Inhale, exhale, blink, move individual arms, legs, balance your spine by pressing a button for each of these individual actions. And it's just a trip on the mind trying to keep up with all these things you have to do. It's a fun game. It's a tedious game. Man, is it tedious. So I thought I would use this as an opportunity for a tutorial on SikuliX and automation. I'll give an intro on SikuliX a little later, but first we'll show some parts of the introduction and the game mechanics so you can get an idea of why the game is so tedious if you're not familiar with it. Spoilers ahead, I guess.
Sam's girlfriend is upset. As with most rich and famous brats, Sam does not pick up on that. Instead, he decides to lay this gem.
Things just work out for me, baby. I can't just run around and do stuff. I'd end up with a limp spine or something.
Sam's girlfriend does something she should have done a long time ago. Sam is laying unconscious on the floor. He gathers his strength and makes an effort to get up. Then he makes another effort to stand up straight. Sam is hit in the head so hard, he has to remind himself how to walk. He takes a right step. Then he takes a left step. Good job, Sam! You're very good at existing.
How dare you startle my child?
An overprotective mother hurls a cup of coffee in Sam's...
The first part of the game, where you can actually do stuff, starts off really light on the user. You just have to walk around and get a taste of the ensuing madness to come. To cut a long story short, you finally make it outside, you get hit by a truck, you die instantly, the dude who hit you and killed you barfs all over his windshield, you make it to hell, you meet death, you talk to death, you make a deal with death, and basically you have to go a whole day doing things manually that you would normally do automatically or unconsciously. I don't know, those things you don't normally think about, you just do. Yeah.
Everything be fine. Alright, so this here be the dealing biz. All your body functions be manual, so you kinda have to do stuff on purpose. You'll be turning kinda blue. Might wanna consider breathing. Alright, bitchin'. You've been blinking and breathing, happy bitchin'. So, alright, go survive for a day, and I'll let you live normally for the rest of your life. If you somehow die within the next 24 hours, you'll go to hell and I'll keep your shreds forever. I'll be over there doing kick flips if you need me.
Once again, Sam has to make an effort to get up. This time, he has to focus on his spine. And, once again, he has to remind himself how to walk.
Oh, by the way, dude, you'll be getting late for work.
Sam does something that resembles walking towards the bathroom. Blink, Sam, blink!
If you don't blink for a while, your vision gets really hazy and bright and blurry, but nothing really bad happens, but the game will make it a point to complain incessantly at you for it, even if, you can manage with the blurry vision.
Feeling more accomplished than ever, he proceeds to find a jacket. Only the best one will do. Fully clothed, Sam is ready for the day. P.S. He's not.
And while you will develop a muscle memory for a lot of these repetitive, tedious things, there are times where they switch it up, such as when you shouldn't inhale and exhale because maybe you're eating or drinking and inhaling will cause choking, or breathing in a toxic gas while you're walking around a toxic gas cloud. Yeah, that's a thing later on. So they mix it up.
Out of cups, out of hope.
So, a quick rundown of SikuliX, which can be downloaded from SikuliX.com. What is it? It's an automation and unit testing program. While, yes, I know, there's a lot of automation programs out there that can do stuff like emulate mouse motions and clicks, emulate keyboard presses, run commands, schedule actions, yada yada, etc. SikuliX's claim to fame is that it has a computer vision component powered by the OpenCV library that allows it to find graphical elements on the screen, such as buttons, images, and I've never used it before, but supposedly it has OCR, optical character recognition, which means it can find pictures of text and then figure out what that text actually is. SikuliX is programmed in Java, but the actual programming language you use to write your automation programs is Python. So let me get SikuliX open here. You'll see that once I go out of the game, I get this pause screen. Let me fit this to size. Here we go. We hit the click button to say that we want to click on something that we found, which is this resume button. So we'll save it and then run it, and it's going to exit instantly because it's going to click on the resume button, and then that'll be into the program. Just like that. So what we want now is a while loop to continually run in the background. We do a while true to constantly run in an infinite loop. First thing we want to do is hit the I button, which is the breathe in. So here's where we'll actually automate the breathing. We press down the I, and then we'll wait a while, and then we'll release it, which means we're just holding it down for 0.5, which is half a second. And if we breathe in, also breathe out. We do the same thing except with the O key, which is breathe out. And we'll do it for a little less because we don't need a exhale as long as we inhale. It's just a quirk of the game. I don't know if it's really a quirk, but you don't have to hold it down that long when you breathe out. In between, I guess let's blink, which is the U key. What's going on here? I need to close up the string. And you know what? We'll blink again right afterwards. Why not? Add a comment. Same comment. And while we're at it, for the second blink, we'll also align the spine. So there, click resume automatically for us. And now here we see it's breathing. You don't hear me typing, right? SikuliX is doing that for me. And then we can hold down Shift, Alt, and C, which will stop the program and get out of that while loop. It's breathing a little too fast, so let's add some extra time after we exhale before we re-inhale. So now, for this part, all I have to do is worry about walking, which apparently I'm doing poorly. But I don't have to keep breathing, and spine alignment, and blinking. That's all now completely automated for me. So it was mentioned before that there are times when we don't want to breathe. So let's make that a thing where we can, turn it on or off. And we'll make that based on a key press. So we don't have to exit the game, change the script, go back in, just for those parts where we don't need to breathe. And obviously, we would have the ability to toggle it back on again the same way. So here's the variable breathing, which will say whether or not we should breathe. and we'll just put these breathing moments inside of an if statement. One for breathe in, and if statement for breathe out. And this is our function that is going to toggle it from breathing to not breathing, or not breathing to breathing. Oh, and just to make sure that we actually know it's being called, we're going to add a little a ding sound, a ping, a beep. To do in SikuliX, we're going to use the Java toolkit, because remember, SikuliX was written in Java. While the programming language is Python, we have access to some of the Java engine. So we'll type in this thing that makes it beep. And we also, that's the function that's going to toggle it, but we also need to say what's going to trigger that function to be called. We'll use the hotkey system to say every time the Y key is pressed. 0 for no modifiers, no Control Alt or Shift. We're going to call this function. So we register that before the while loop. Syntax error here. It's actually a function that takes in one parameter to work for the hotkey system. So I'm pressing the the Y key, and I'm still breathing. The problem is, breathing up here is a global variable. And in the function where we're referencing it, it doesn't know if it's the global variable or if it's a local variable that happens to have the same name. So in the function, we type global breathing to say that every instance of breathing in this function is going to be a reference to the global version. So now we hit Y, we hear the beep, and you see that stop breathing, and then start breathing again. Stop breathing, but we're still blinking. And now we're breathing and blinking, and doing the splits.
Dude, I am totally gonna kickflip over your car.
So for this entire walk, I just have to worry about walking, just pressing Z and C over and over again. It's pretty lame, but that's why the video is called what it is. So we'll get in the car, go to the next segment where we're driving in the car, and the thing about this is you're not really walking around anymore, but you still need to breathe and blink. So, we're set. You don't need to line the spine, but constantly doing it when you don't have to, it doesn't really affect anything, so we'll leave it running.
For the fun. That be ironic or what?
At this point, Sam notices that death isn't.
So we'll also add a way to activate and deactivate the entire trainer without having to, hit Shift, Alt, and C to stop the program. So we can stay inside the game the entire time and just press another key to turn it on and off. So this function is going to look pretty similar, except we're going to use this active variable instead. And turn it off just on top of the while loop. If it's not active, we're just going to wait a while so we don't spam the loop, but we're going to wait a while and then just continue the loop again and check if it's active the next time we go through the loop. And maybe down here we'll also, I don't think that's really necessary, because this whole thing is really short, so we don't have to really wait that long before it deactivates anyways, so take that out. Oh, and we also have to add the hotkey for it. Let's say letter T. Okay, now it's all off. Now it's on again. And now we're not breathing. And now we are. So now we have those two controls while in game.
Now, while you have the clutch down, press the gas pedal.
Change maneuver by stepping with the same leg twice. Sam holds on to that toothbrush like his life depends on it.
Man, check out these pro key mashing skills.
Sam's vision is blurrier than a Norwegian.